Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. I would like to thank you all for joining us today for our Conversations with Cal student panel. My name is Mickey Jones, and I will be acting as your moderator for our discussion today. A little bit about me. I'm a senior studying interdisciplinary studies of social science here at MSU, and I'm also an intern for our advancement and engagement office. Before we begin the discussion, for those of you who are new to Zoom, I'd like to direct you to the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. You may use the Q&A button to submit any questions you have at any point of the webinar, and we will keep track of these questions and try our best to address them at the end if there's time permitting. I'd also like to let you know that this webinar is being recorded and will be posted on our YouTube channel within the next few days or so for those who could not make it, or if you'd like to go back and watch this at your leisure. The only faces that will be shown today and on the recorded version are those of the presenters, so you don't have to worry about your camera or microphone. I would now like to give a warm welcome to our panelists who graciously took their time out of their busy schedules to be with me today. The goal of this panel is to give our viewers a better idea of who the Cal students are, what they do, and what is important to them. Throughout this time, I'll be asking questions that will be answered by a couple of our students at a time, and we can answer any questions in the chat, again, with time permitting. With that being said, I'd love it if you all could go around and just give us a brief introduction about who you are, what's important to you. So Mandy, would you like to start us off?
Yes, I would love to. I'm Mandy. I'm a freshman BA theater major. I'm involved with Citizen Scholars, Best Buddies, and the Salt Company. I really love being a part of a really open and huge community. It's been really awesome to see all the new opportunities and get to try new things.
Awesome, thank you.
I can go next. Hi guys, my name is Hibah. My majors are humanities pre-law as well as social relations and policy. I'm a freshman and I'm a mental health intern in the College of Arts and Letters, and also I'm in Pakistan Student Association, Muslim Student Association, anything that's kind of South Asian related, mental health, that's kind of what I'm in. Yeah, looking forward for this.
Thank you.
I can go. Hello, everyone. My name is Mary Claire. I'm a junior here at Michigan State, English major with a concentration in creative writing, minors in film studies and musical theater. I'm a member of the Honors College. I am a producer of one of the MSU Telecasters shows, Sideshow, vice president of our English Honor Society here on campus, Sigma Tau Delta, and involved in the Department of Theater. So very excited to be here and to talk about what I love about Cal.
I'll jump in next. Hi, everyone. I'm Ann Desrochers. I'm a senior here at MSU. I'm majoring in experience architecture and psychology, and I have minors in information technology and data analytics. I am going to move to Minneapolis after I graduate because I'll be working for General Mills in their digital and technology program. Extracurricular-wise, I have been a part of the XA Club and the Alumni Distinguished Scholars not really association, but we hang out. And I also really enjoy MSU, Lansing, and sewing and crochet.
Amazing, thank you. Danny, you want to finish us off?
Of course. Hi, my name is Danni. I'm a freshman from Zimbabwe studying humanities pre-law with the minor in Italian. I work as an international student ambassador in the Office of Admissions, and I'm part of Kappa Alpha Pi, the co-ed pre-law fraternity on campus. And I'm also a floor representative of my residential hall association, as well as being involved in Partners in Crime and Days for Girls, which are other clubs on campus. And I just love meeting new people and just being involved in anything I can.
Wow, thank you all so much just for sharing. Again, I'm just so thrilled to sit here and just be able to talk with you all. I also just want to mention that all of the activities that they shared are just a part of the goals that they strive to achieve and really are a testament to the university's mission to cultivate students that are really driven and passionate and creative. So again, just like major props to all of you guys and for the hard work that you do. And without further ado, let's just jump into these questions. So the first one I have, and again, anybody can just hop in, say their answer. How has being a part of MSU College of Arts and Letters impacted how you spend your time and your college experience?
I can start.
Thank you.
Being an English major with minors in film studies and musical theater, the majority of my time is spent with the College of Arts and Letters. And honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. I think that the college as a whole is a very creative incubator for all of the different people and all the different things that people love to study. And with all three of my passions, which is what I'm studying, falling within this giant umbrella, it really gives me the opportunity to study everything that I'm interested in, meet like-minded people, and people with different interests who are also like of a creative and making change or learning about things that they're interested in as well. So I spend a lot of time with the College of Arts and Letters, and I really enjoy it. So that's probably what I would say.
I'll jump in after Mary. I totally agree that Cal is a very creative spot, and there's so many people here who are all passionate about their own thing. It's really cool to learn from them. One thing that, in terms of time management, as I've been a student here at MSU, I got a job with Cal's marketing and communications office, the content studio, when I was in the second semester of my freshman year. So 3.5-ish years ago at this point. And ever since I got that job, I have really seen the importance of applying the knowledge from my courses while I'm taking them. So like concurrently doing projects or making real websites or Instagram posts or things that reach real people to apply the concepts I've learned in class. So I think that from the get-go, from my second semester here, I was in class and I was applying things I had learned in class in my internships because my schedule was flexible enough where I had time to do work and see what I was good at, see what I liked. So then like, even after I left the content studio, I've always made sure to have a job or an internship kind of going on my back burner, because to me, learning and then applying that knowledge is what makes it stick, which makes me feel confident in my abilities. So Cal really encouraged me to not just go to class and then go home and play video games, to like actually work on implementing what I have learned and like figuring out what I really like to become the most successful professional I can be when I leave. So I feel really grateful for that. And I think it's been really beneficial for me as a person and as like a professional as well.
I agree. Just jumping off that, definitely being surrounded by like-minded people, and I'm part of, like Mandy and Hibah, I'm part of Citizen Scholars. So through that program, Cal has helped me find my passions in wanting to be involved in human rights law, because I was able to like find and research my passions early on, and that's pretty much how I found out what I wanted to do in the future and for this specific project.
Wow, that's awesome. Thank you guys. I, again, myself, I'm in the College of Social Science, so I'm not a part of Cal at all. I am just simply interning here. And I was just saying before this meeting even started, I have loved every second of it, because I do think that, like you all said, Cal really does like build that sense of community, right? And like, that's just something that you're going to take away for the rest of your life. Like that is so ingrained in your college experience overall. So thank you for sharing that. I can jump right into the next question then. What do you guys want your legacy to be 10, 20, 50 years from now? What will your name be? What do you want it to be? Take time. That's a loaded question.
That's a very loaded question. Oh, Hibah, you can go ahead.
You are totally fine. You can answer for me.
Well, I've always thought like I want my name to mean something, but specifically since I've entered college, I am a freshman, so I learned a lot of independence, and I learned a lot how much like each person has value. And so I really want my name to be not necessarily worldwide known, but at least to mean something to at least one person. So whether I can make it something more accessible or something more inclusive, or make someone happy, or like give someone an opportunity like people have given me, like that's what I want my name to mean. And like a positive, like not necessarily what I do, but like, or what my name is, but like what I do. I feel like I'm running in circles, but like I definitely want to give back the opportunities that I have been given here.
Sure, I definitely agree with you, Mandy. I can already see you doing that. For me, let's see. there's a lot of things I really enjoy. When I came into KL, I've just been interested in all these things like criminal justice, like women's rights, like awareness towards like minorities and everything. But I think I'm very interested in just like advocating for South Asian awareness, because as a Pakistani Canadian American as well as a first generation immigrant, I've had like quite a few experiences, and I feel like South Asians are like less represented. And so especially in the mental health aspect, I feel like there's a stigma in the South Asian community. So I feel like I can somehow be this person that can help out other students like me in the future, like in 10 years or like 50 years, I can be like old Hibah Khan helping out other people that are like kids like me instead. So just like I want to be a mentor, but like that like understands students and their views. So, yeah.
Wow, both of those answers were just top tier. Thank you so much. Does anybody else have anything to add to that? Not that you have to top it by any means, because those again were phenomenal answers. So thank you. I guess going off of that idea, what is one word you want people to use to describe you? What do you think that they currently use?
I can venture a guess. Well, one word that I hope that people use to describe me is creative. Within my answer to the previous question would probably be that I want people to associate my name with the works that I've created or the things that I've brought into this world. Being an English major, in film musical theater, very much a storyteller at heart. And so I want people to describe me as creative and recognize the things that I've brought into the world, the stories that I've told, and hopefully those can have an impact on people. I think people may use that word to describe me now. I hope that it continues to grow. Cal's given me a lot of opportunities to create, whether it's been on the stage or in a film setting or writing for my English classes. And so I've already started kind of getting those little steps to reach that goal ultimately of being a creative for my whole life. But that's probably the word that I would choose.
That's amazing. Thank you so much.
I totally agree with creative. That was going to be my word, but now I'm picking a new one because I can't steal. I think people probably currently call me organized. I'm a very color-coded schedule, Trello board type person, bulleted lists, like organized emails, trying to get everyone together. My parents are both engineers, so like I have to be genetically very organized. I love an Excel spreadsheet. But in the future, I would like people to describe me as grateful. I personally practice gratitude like every day, and I've been trying to bring more of that like personal practice into my academic or professional roles. And the other day I was leading a Zoom meeting, and at the end, I took a moment and I said, thank you for being here and paying attention. So even if you're just like camera off, video off here listening, that's still worthy of thanks. So I want to help myself to thank people when they interact with me, thank people for their work and their contributions, and also maybe like model that for others so they can also practice gratitude in their lives.
Sorry, I feel like we're following the same order. I'd like people to say that I'm genuine. I feel that Cal has definitely given me the opportunities to pursue my passions, so that instead of just speaking about it, I can actually put these into place. Yeah, pretty short answer, but.
Shoot, you guys are on fire with these answers. I don't even know if my responses would be this good. Oh my gosh, seriously, so good. Going back into your point of like having a grateful heart, I recently heard with him like the last week, so that's so funny that like gratitude is that important to you. I recently heard someone say like, if you really want a door to open for yourself and you want to create that opportunity, like start like giving thanks for that thing that isn't even yours yet, and it's a matter of just like being grateful for the thing that is like so difficult for you to see right now, so that it can get you to a place where you can see it in the future, right? And that's so important. It's so good. Okay, next question. If money was no object, how would you spend your time? What would your day look like? This one's a good one.
Okay, I can answer this. So I've just been a big traveler like my whole life. my dream is to travel every single country in the world. I don't know if I will ever be able to do that. That's too much money, but I know that would be the first thing if money was not an object, because the world is just so beautiful. There's just so much to see, so many different walks of life. So that is just something I would want to do so badly.
Hibah, as long as you come to Zimbabwe first, then it's okay.
I was gonna say travel too, so we're on the same page. I have the goal of going to all 50 states, so a little bit more feasible in terms of money, but I also would travel immediately if money was no object.
I love travel, but I feel like growing up, I went to summer camps, just like day camps and overnight camp. So I feel like I would really want to like open up my own summer camp and have it kind of be like a creative community with like different, so everyone can have everything. So like special needs and make it very diverse and accessible. Just because I've always had a wonderful camp experience, and I think it'd be really fun just to have a huge summer camp so everyone could just go and have fun. But I don't know, travel does sound really nice too.
No, I agree. I think traveling is definitely something that is extremely valuable. But Mandy, it seems like you really do, going back to that question of like what it is that you like, I think it was the legacy question. You had the response of like being known for like giving back and your sense of like independence and things like that. Like you're already going to have that impact if that's, your goal, right? That's so awesome. Okay, what skills do people frequently compliment you on? And these may not be what you think that you're best at.
I would say probably organization again. When I worked for MSU Cal, like they told me in my like exit interview that like the way that I was documenting my processes like helped them to see process documentation in a new way. Because I just, as a person, anytime anything's going on, I'm like, I'm gonna write a structure for this. I'm gonna like write this down, document it so we know what we were doing, what our process was. And they're like, now we have so many assets just from you working here of things that we've done, like historical records that can help us like make evidence-based decisions for things we're doing in the future. So I was like, that's pretty cool of me. I'm gonna pat myself on the back for that. Another thing I would say, this is one that like Mickey said, I'm not exactly sure it's my best skill, but oftentimes in a group project, because of my organization, I'm the one who like gets everyone together and like becomes a de facto leader. So they're like, wow, you're such a good like group leader. And I'm like, I'm only group leading because I'm so nervous that the rest of you, no one else will step up. So like, I didn't like want to become a leader, and I don't want to be like the president. I don't think that that's my jam, but stepping up and getting everyone together, getting group people together for a common goal, I'm pretty good at that, even if I don't always want that to be my role. Sometimes I'd rather just be like the content writer and not have to do all the Gantt chart, to-do list, bugging people to turn things in kind of work. But yeah, I would say organization and leadership.
I would say for me, one of the major ones is time management. I'm sure that all 5 of us or all 6 of us have heard this since we're all so busy and applied in so many different places, but balancing, an on-campus job, lots of classes and extracurriculars, it's like a full-time job, the whole package. And so especially like as I've gotten more involved on campus and then being in the Department of Theater, we have rehearsal every night from 6 to 10, and it's a commitment. And so kind of balancing all of those things and finding those time management skills is definitely something that I've been complimented on and have worked to cultivate, because it's very important to, stick to all your commitments and also take time for yourself. And so that's one that I definitely, that's a strength that I possess.
Just going off that, I was going to say punctuality. Like, for this webinar, I got here about 10 minutes early. I'm constantly like stressed that I'm going to be late. So people tell me that like, oh, you got here on time, you got here early, that I'm punctual. And meanwhile, I was like stressing an hour before, wondering if I was going to be late and planning like when the bus is going to get here or how long it'll take me to walk. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny, because I'm the type of person to show up like right on the dot. So the fact that you were like 10 minutes early, I love that. And that is everything that I want to be and more. So I really, I really aspire to be you, Danny. So like we all kind of touched on, you all are involved in so many different things, whether that's clubs or I think some of you, if not all, have jobs. So what do you love most about your current job and what do you wish you could do more of? Again, whether that's an extracurricular or club, what have you?
So I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but I'm a community engagement coordinator on a research project happening in the College of Arts and Letters called Branch Out. It's happening in May of this year. And to be honest, I have no clue. I had no clue what I was getting myself into. So I was like really confused, but it has been such an amazing opportunity. It really showed that I can like learn and that I just having like the willingness to learn and like be a part of something is like what some people want. And so having that opportunity really taught me a lot. I've really enjoyed the process so far in the last semester and this semester as well. And it really made me want to continue working with the community. And I'm thinking about double majoring in special education to work on accessibility and also work with the community and be more inclusive just because of this experience and working with the amazing people in the College of Arts and Letters.
I have an accessibility tie-in because I currently work for Teach Access, which is a nonprofit that is a collaboration between big tech companies, so like Apple, Google, Facebook, higher education institutions, and disability advocacy organizations. So between those three different groups of institutions, they try to teach accessibility in the higher ed curriculum. So when big tech companies are hiring people, they have an understanding of it, and new technology is born accessible instead of being retrofitted after you get a lawsuit. So I love that work. It's working in the accessibility space is super great because everyone who has made it there has a deep understanding of like people are people. Sometimes they need extra time to do things. Sometimes they need more information, or like there was never a situation where I went into a room or a Zoom meeting feeling like I didn't know enough or I couldn't ask questions or being nervous. Like it's a very open, accepting sphere. And I think ideally, like if I could have my own way, like eventually I would work full time for them for Teach Access, especially since the executive director is someone I had in class and know well and really like. So maybe one day I'll have a full-time position, but right now it's only like 2 contractors and 2 employees, one of which is me, who's an intern. So like they're a small organization right now. They just hired their second full-time person. So it's going to be a long time before they have like the infrastructure to need another full-time person. But in my dream, that full-time person would be me.
Wow, what an awesome mission. That is so cool. I have not heard of that organization actually. That's awesome. That is so, so cool. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to add to that question?
Yeah, I can. Sorry, Mickey, I think my Wi-Fi is a bit bad. I lost the last bit of the question that you asked, but I'll answer the first bit. So as an international student ambassador, I'm extremely blessed to be able to reach out to people, and I'm so blessed to have this job so that I can speak with people all around the world and be able to hear their stories. And since they're prospective students, I get to share my passion about MSU, and like if they're debating on doing pre-law, I get to tell them more about that. And just be able to answer their questions, which I absolutely love, because who doesn't love learning about other people from around the world?
Oh my gosh. I love like learning about other people around the world. So that's so cool that you're able to provide that for others. And Anne, thank you so much for dropping that link. I'll definitely be sure to check that out. Thank you. Okay. Next question. If you had the opportunity to get a message across to a large group of people, what would you want to say? And this could potentially be like incoming freshmen, maybe just like advice, I guess, on like what you wish maybe your younger self, like Mandy, I know you can relate, like you are a freshman, like what do you wish you knew coming in to MSU?
Okay, the first thing that popped into my head was everything will be okay. I know it's like a pretty cliche statement, but as someone that's battled with depression for quite a bit of years, I just thought like I would never kind of come to college, or like I would never like aspire all these goals. But now, just looking at me now, like college is actually really great, especially Cal. Like I feel so welcomed. There's like I am so glad I chose MSU because there's such a welcoming community, and like there's all these mental health resources, and I just feel like life is beautiful. Like life just gets better. I mean, well, I know people, there's ups and downs in life. I mean, there's not like, I always have ups and downs, but the thing is, like, if you surround yourself with people that love you and you have your own self-confidence in yourself, then life just gets better. So.
Come on. I'm going to like echo to that because that is just so good. Oh my gosh. I wish like everybody in the world could hear that. That was so good.
Yeah, kind of jumping off of the end of that question about how you said that, you know, you had such a good support group here in Cal. I would just say that everyone here wants to see you succeed. Like your professors, your advisors, and then the people that you meet and the friends that you form, like everyone really wants to push you to do your best and to help you be your best. Obviously, you know, sometimes you have a bad professor, someone you just don't click with, but on the whole, especially within Cal and such a great community, they really work hard to give us opportunities to succeed and to pursue our passions. And so kind of just telling people who are coming into the college, like the people here want you to succeed. No one's like waiting for you to fail. So, you know, make the leap and there'll be people there to catch you.
I think the first thing that came to my head when you asked this question was trust your intuition. And by that, I don't mean just like anytime you get into a situation, go with your knee-jerk reaction. I mean like learning to sit with yourself and understand your own feelings and figure out what environments are good for you, what environments might not be better for you. Like if you're in a class and it's like core to your major and you're super bored and you don't think that it's interesting, well, maybe your major needs to change. And it's like having the courage to be honest with yourself and trust that you can make the right decisions to protect yourself, because if you have a good support system and you know everything will be okay, everything will be okay. Going off of Hibah and Mary, like totally agree.
No, I agree completely. I think those responses were so great. I think knowing things do get better. I think knowing that you have a team of, yeah, like professors absolutely want to help you, like more than I think students are willing to admit. Because I think professors can be so intimidating. Absolutely. Like that is so true. But I think taking that leap of faith, even if it's daunting, and reaching out, going to office hours, like doing whatever you can to know, and again, trust your instinct, like know that you do have people who love you and support you. And putting yourself out there too, I think is so big in college. Absolutely. Okay, fast forward 10 or 20 years. I know, seems like way too far in advance, but what is one thing that if you never pursued, you'd always regret? This can be anything.
Just to clarify, like one thing we've never pursued that we have pursued now in our life, or like in general?
This can be anything. This can be something that, yeah, you've never pursued yet, but you want to, or again, like looking far in advance in the future, if you never took hold of, you know, an opportunity, like what is it that you would regret?
Okay.
Does that make a little bit more sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Yes.
Probably, I just started learning ASL, and I was inspired to learn it at the summer camp that I was working last summer with special needs students, and some students were nonverbal, so they use sign language, and I had to learn, and I felt a little out of place because I didn't know, and so I was really inspired to learn, and I was able to add that to my major as theater. So I'm auditioning tomorrow, and I'm doing a monologue with sign language, and I'm able to communicate. I went to a conference this past weekend in Iowa, and I was able to use sign language and talk to someone. Like I have just started. I'm very baby learner when it comes to ASL, but I feel like it has really opened more opportunities, especially because I really want to work on inclusivity and accessibility. And I feel like if I didn't learn ASL, that would have just been a missed opportunity, especially because it's such a beautiful language and a beautiful community that I would love to communicate with and learn more about, definitely.
Going off of that, also with language. So, like I said before, I'm a first generation immigrant. So I was born in Canada. My parents they speak Urdu. That's the language that we speak. But I fluently understand Urdu, but I can't speak it very well or can't read it very well. So whenever we go back to Pakistan, where my whole family lives, they like, it's really hard to communicate with them because they know very little English and I can't speak Urdu. So I understand what they're saying. So when I came to MSU, that's another reason why I chose MSU and KL specifically. They have Urdu, which is a really nice option because most universities don't have that since it's like smaller than Hindi. So I've just been learning Urdu, and like I really hope to continue for the next couple of years because like in the future, hopefully I can communicate with my kids, and like I want to teach them Urdu as well, just keep the lineage going, and also be able to speak to my grandparents. So every week when I talk to my grandparents on WhatsApp, I'm like Assalamu alaikum, like Ya hal hai, like I'm able to talk to them a little bit better than I was last year. So for sure.
I think for me, it's definitely been joining Citizen Scholars. Like I mentioned before, it's definitely helped me pursue my passions. And now I actually know that I really want to get into human rights law, even though I don't specifically know which area of human rights. And as an international student, coming to MSU, I know that in 20 years, I definitely would have regretted not coming here. So coming from Zimbabwe, we didn't really know that much about American universities. Most people that went to my high school went to university in either South Africa or Europe. So we didn't really know much about it. My family doesn't have any relatives here. We just didn't know much about it. So I fought with my family to come here. And I'm just so grateful that I did. I've made incredible friends. It was definitely a leap because I'd never been here before. So I didn't really know what to expect, but I'm so grateful I did. God definitely brought me through here, through to this, because the opportunities that Cal has given me and everything I've experienced, the amazing people I've met, and just I can't even describe it. It's just been absolutely incredible. So I'm so grateful I found my place here.
Well, I'm so grateful you're here too. That is so amazing. Okay, think about your guys' talents, your passions, your values. How can you use them to serve and contribute to society? I mean, shoot, you guys like already are doing a killer job at it, but like what more? What more could you do? What more do you want to do?
For me, with being an English creative writing major, what I want to do is to write, and whether that's writing plays, movies, just nonfiction pieces, poetry, the whole 9 yards. What I love about literature and what I love about writing is the power it has to connect people and to help people feel seen or have their identities, recognized in literature or in writing or in representation, and feel that their experiences are heard or validated by other people who've gone through similar things. And so when I write about things that I've experienced or elements of my identity or certain things like that, it's with the hope that someone else reads it and then they can say, oh, that's me. Like, oh, I can do that too. I've done that too. Growing up, I was a big reader kid. I'd go to the library and, check out the stack of books. And whenever I, was reading about a girl who has two sisters or just something small, even if it was just like, a girl who wears glasses and, doesn't have as many friends at school, it always made me feel stronger to see myself represented. And so now that I have the power to write and the opportunities to write through Cal and just through my classes, I really am writing with the hope that someday I inspire some other little girl who's reading a book in her bedroom, and that she can feel seen and that there's a place for her and that she can accomplish her dreams the way that I hopefully will.
I think that, first of all, that's a very beautiful answer. I personally believe that human connection is our greatest strength. So I think that pursuing that, using my own talents, my own ideas, my own routines and little, things I do to practice gratitude or be creative or just live a good life. I feel that, especially through the Experience Architecture program, a lot of what I will probably be working on throughout my professional career is digital communication, so website, social media, etc. So the internet obviously runs on connection, so being able to be part of that connection and make it easier, friendlier, more inclusive, more accessible, I think that is going to be a really exciting journey for me wherever it takes me. Let's see what else. Yeah, I think connection mainly. I'm sure there's other things, but that's the ones that sticks out to me the most.
Thank you. Both those answers are so beautiful. I think like everybody, whether they decide to admit it or not, I think wants to make an impact. It's like big or small. But like how everybody goes about that is going to be so individualized. And I love that. I think that's such a beautiful thing, as you guys just put too. So quick question. Who or what energizes you? What makes you feel depleted? Do you thrive on chaos or prefer order? I know that there's like kind of a lot of questions in that one. But I feel like for the most part, unless I'm so wrong in this, but like, would you guys say that you guys are introverted, extroverted? I don't know. I feel like I would classify you guys all as extroverted. Maybe that's just because we're on Zoom.
Yeah, so I guess I can answer first. So yeah, my friends classify me as the extrovert of extroverts. I can't stop talking, unfortunately. I wish I was an introvert, I swear. All my friends are introverts. I just feel like the introverts have the most to say, personally, even though I'm an extrovert. I know when to be quiet though. Maybe. But yeah, so my parents actually are teachers. A lot of people tell me I have this special skill. I don't know if this is going to answer the question, but I'm able to connect with people because of the experiences I've had. I've moved to like 5 different states. I lived in Canada. Like I travel like once a year to out of country and everything. So I've met all different walks of life. And so that kind of just taught me how to talk to people, like specific types of people that are pretty different to me. So I just feel as if like, I guess I don't know. I forgot the question, but something about chaos and order. I like chaos, but I do like order at the same time. But I'm pretty chaotic, so.
Oh my gosh, I love that answer. That's so funny you say you think that introverts have like the most to say, because I would classify myself as an extrovert, and I think I, just as you were saying, like I resonate so much with your like, I could talk on forever. Yeah, so could I. Like I just don't think I ever shut up, especially around like my friends. So I definitely relate to that. But I do think I have a lot of introverted friends as well.
As an introvert representative, I personally draw my strength from like alone time. I love minding my business. I have my cat, I have my crochet projects, like I have the full, whenever I'm feeling overwhelmed, if I retreat into my full grandma mode where I'm watching a silly mystery show on Hulu, crocheting a blanket, petting my cat, eating potato salad, like just having a little comfort food cozy moment, that really gives me the strength to like get up the next day and actually go to class kind of thing. But then I definitely prefer order because I like to keep things organized. I like to know where everything is, have a place for everything and everything in its place. But I think that because of the way I interact with the world, it's definitely changed, especially since I've come to college. Like I've learned what works for me and what doesn't. The things that like energize me, like you said, or deplete me. Just having a better sense of that has helped me like navigate the world easier. And I think that it just takes time to develop that. I get told that I'm extrovert-ish. Every time I take the Myers-Briggs, it puts me like right in the middle. But I know I personally, my boyfriend and I are both introverts, and we'll text each other and he'll be like, I like you, but I can't see anyone today. And I'll say, me neither. FaceTime me and we'll both be in our houses. And it works.
Wow, I'm an extrovert, but I sometimes I would say I'm an introverted extrovert because I like to be, but I don't know. I feel like I'm just an extrovert. I feel like it's kind of obvious. But I like very much like I love organized chaos. I was a stage manager for a hot minute, so that was, Mary knows, that was like my thing. And so I'm very much like my friends would say I'm like the mom of the group. So like organized chaos, like I have snacks, but we are gonna be late. We're late, but I have snacks and we're ready. Like that's definitely like the vibe that I give off. But what energizes me, like when things are crazy, the mom brain, even though I am a freshman and I'm not a mother yet, but what energizes me is definitely community and also my faith. Really having that foundation, it really grounds me, and really allows me to fill my cup so I can try to fill others and like reach out, just because I don't want to give off energy that isn't beneficial to anyone, especially myself. So I feel like just, not grounding myself and not putting my not doing all those things that really make me happy and like is the foundation of who I am definitely drains my battery. So having that and being able to be the mom of my friend group like that is definitely something that brings me a lot of joy as well.
Yeah, I was gonna shout you out, Mandy, because I'm an extrovert as well, but I'm a theater kid at heart. Like that is fully my identity. So I thrive in the creative chaos that is the world of musical theater. And so I was gonna shout out Mandy because we're theater kids together.
This is like not a question I require, but I'm just curious. Would you guys say that a lot of theater students do have a similar personality? I don't know, maybe characteristics?
I would say there's like two types of theater kids.
Okay, let's hear them.
There's the performer and there's the technician. And
Oh,
so you don't have to be a performer to be in the performer category or technician to be in the technician category,
okay.
but the performer is very much like likes to talk and more extroverted, and I think the technician is definitely more introverted because in a show you're performer, you're on stage talking, technician, you're backstage. So there's definitely that type, and usually performer type people are actually performers and technicians are actually technicians. I don't know, Mary Claire, if you agree with that, but those, like, of my years doing theater, those are like the two categories that I would say.
Yeah, I definitely agree, and I like your distinction that you can go to the opposite side of the curtain, despite what your personality might say. But I definitely think there's a certain energy that unites all theater kids. We're all kind of crazy in the same ways, but in the best ways. So.
Yeah. That is so unique and like so special because I feel like that distinction in itself kind of like creates that sense of community and like opens the room for like bonding that happens between like the whole theater major. That's so cool. Okay. My last question, because I feel like we've had so many questions of like, what do you hope to accomplish in the future? What are your goals? What are your dreams? What are your aspirations? So what is going to be your guys' action plans? Like think of this as like January 1st, like you're going to try and implement New Year's resolution plans, things like that. Like what are going to be the steps that you take to get there? This is a sense of accountability.
I think I'll go first because I'm graduating, so my path forward is, and I have a job, so it's like a little pretty straightforward. Like I kind of know what I'm doing next. But I am on spring break. I'm going to Minneapolis to go apartment hunting with my dad. I have those tours booked, so that's already done. Let's check out the action plan. Find a place to live. I'll move in. I'll probably grocery shop first, and then I will hope to show up to my new job ready. It's a rotational program, so I don't actually know what I'm doing yet. So I'm hoping that in my conversations with like my HR and placement people soon, they tell me exactly what I'm going to be doing or like which team I'm going to be working with, so I can like do some LinkedIn stalking and figure out who I'm working for and what they're doing and what my expertise might need to be, or like, gaps between my knowledge and the things I need to do. So that's what I'm doing next. That's the sketchy next couple steps in my plan, but I think I'm going to be set up all right by the time my first day actually does roll around.
You will, absolutely. You will.
Yeah, those are solid. I just kind of have some like bigger like benchmarks that I'm hoping for and aiming for. Over the summer, I'll be studying abroad for the first time, going to a month-long program in Austria that I've been waiting to go to since my freshman year before COVID hit. And I am ecstatic. I think it'll be great both for my future and just in terms of personal development. I've never been to Europe. I've never been abroad. So I'm so excited about everything that that's going to teach me and just how that's going to move my future forward. And then the fall semester is my last semester here at Michigan State. And so that's going to be a hectic time of combining, planning for the future and really enjoying my last semester here at the school that I love so much. And so we'll see how it goes, but I'm really excited for the future.
As you should be. That is an amazing plan. And I think it's always good to have like benchmarks, I think, in place in your head. That's awesome.
I can go next. So my main thing on the agenda, I don't really have a plan, Um, I think I've talked a lot about my Citizen Scholars project, so I can just talk more on that because that's kind of my main focus. I think I'll be working on that over the summer when I go and visit my family and then come back here when I start my sophomore year. So I'm planning on working on, like I said, something for human rights, but I'm alluding to an education initiative, if that makes sense. So I'm planning on implementing a project where underprivileged communities have access to pre-recorded educational lessons. An organization in Zimbabwe does this called Chatterbox, and it does that with Christian sermons. And they put it into rural villages, so people are able to hear like God's word through these pre-recorded boxes. So I would use the resources given by Cal in the Citizen Scholars program to work with professors and scholars to pre-record these lectures and upload it to these radios or boxes and install them in these communities. So that's kind of my main action plan for this year, I think, other than passing my classes.
That is incredible. Oh my gosh. And what would that entail, I guess? Like, is this already something that is like figured out, or are the details still to come? Like, that is so cool.
It's pretty early on, so I'm still figuring everything out. I'm planning on working with the organization called Chatterbox that does this.
Okay.
They do focus on Christian sermons. So I would work with them on that, but maybe expand it to different countries and not just communities in Zimbabwe.
Wow, that's awesome. Thank you. Anybody else?
I can go. So, I mean, I'm still a freshman, so like I still have my whole next couple of years. So I'm kind of trying to focus on like my own self-love journey. I feel like this semester, like it's been great, loving Cal. I actually just transferred to James Madison College as a double major. I'm really trying to decide, is James Madison for me? Like, I just want to know, what do I want to do for the next couple of years? I know, like, who's going to figure, like, how am I going to figure that out nowhere? Even though I'm very chaotic, I also am very organized too. So I like to like plan out every single course I'm going to take for the next couple of years. And right now I have no clue because I just have so many interests, but I just want to like narrow that down. And I feel like that's kind of been like hindering my mental health and my self-love journey. So I need to like really like sit down with myself, sit with my dad, sit with like an advisor and be like, hey, like I like this, like tell me what to do. But like it's really my decision at the end of the day. And then over the summer, I'm not going studying abroad. I'm going with my family because we normally go abroad over the summer, and this is the first time we're going out of country after COVID. So we're going to Spain and Pakistan. I haven't been to Pakistan in 3 years, and I've never been to Spain before, so I'm really excited. So that'll be fun. And then when I come back, we'll probably be there for a month. I think I'm just gonna focus on trying to find internships in like law firms or something of that sort, and then just really getting ready for sophomore year and like just trying to figure my stuff out. So yeah.
Well, I think I will go since everyone else went. But I'm very much like everything will happen for a reason. And so I'm really like not trying to like put too much like pressure on plans because anything can change. Obviously, pandemic happened. What is on the radar right now is that my senior trip from high school is happening this summer. So I'm going to Greece for a couple of weeks. So I'm really excited to absorb in that culture and finally get to go out of the country. I've never been out of the country before, so I'm super excited. And then I'm working at a special needs summer camp, the same one that I worked at last year. And I'm really hoping to use the ASL that I've learned this year. This year at the summer camp, which I'm really excited about. And I'm also applying at internships in different clubs here at the College of Arts and Letters and MSU. So I'm really excited about those opportunities that have been opened up to me, as well as applying as student leader at the church that I'm here or that I have here at MSU and other clubs as well, which I'm super excited about. So we'll see what happens.
Oh my gosh. I hope you guys know how much of an impact like this conversation is like having on me. One, because again, my extroverted self, like I love just like talking with other students, but again, it being my senior year, like and I'm sure you know, it is so bittersweet. It is so bittersweet. Like just not wanting to leave in the sense of like, oh, I just like this is such a solid community. And it's like brought so many joins, as you guys have like all talked about, but also being ready for like what's to come. And Mandy, I really need to learn your lesson of like trying to just be as open and flexible when it comes to making plans, because things don't go, you know, according to the timeline or the plan that you have in your head. But regardless, it will be good, whatever happens to any of us. So thank you all for sharing that. I have actually been just like keeping an eye on the time, and it's almost 5 o'clock. I've really enjoyed just like, again, learning like who you all are and like what is important and like what you guys value and the things that you're going out into the world and accomplishing. Like, oh my gosh, just beyond Michigan State. Like that is just so cool to hear. So thank you all for just being here and just like taking time again out of your day, and to the viewers who have taken time out of their day to just like sit and join with us as we kind of chat and learn more about each other. But I just hope that you guys all are able to like take away maybe a little bit something from this conversation of like, how do I implement these like goals and these steps and these dreams I have into my life and journey here at Michigan State. So hope you all just have a great rest of your week, and go green.
Go white.
Go white.
You guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.